What's up, B.N.H family? Back again, man. Today we got something a little different. I'm gonna be reacting to this RV crisis, and check out the RV crisis channel. The description will be in the bio. Man, and they talking about my hometown, Sacramento. That's where I'm born and raised, and me myself, I've experienced some homelessness myself. I was sleeping in and out of different hotels. Sometimes I would even sleep in my car, and this was like not too long ago, but now, I'm back, I'm back on my feet, back doing my thing. So, man, but yeah, let's check it out, because I definitely see this every day, man. Like it's definitely out of control with these with the homelessness, the RVs, the people sleeping on the street. Man, it's crazy. Like all over California, really all over the country, it's getting like that. So let's get into it.
Sacramento, California, the capital of the fifth largest economy in the world, can't house its own people. Just beyond downtown, the streets are filling with rusted RVs and desperate families, forced to move every 3 days to avoid tickets, tows, and city sweeps. What was once temporary has become permanent.
Heated reactions still pouring in after a homeless camp is cleared in Midtown Sacramento. Tonight we're getting answers on why this particular spot was targeted.
Every month, new faces join the caravan. Teachers, warehouse workers, parents,
the thing about
people
Sacramento, since we're the capital, we love, Sacramento is really good at hiding, the homeless. Like, you go to some cities like Oakland, LA, San Francisco, it's just like, boom, as soon as you come in, it's just all over. But Sacramento, there's a lot, but they do good at kind of because in Sacramento, they don't let you just sit somewhere too long. They're constantly moving you, but there are some areas where they do let you sit, but you don't really see them because nobody goes there. And it's there's this one particular area that's right outside of downtown. It's actually downtown, but it's in the industrial part. And it's like Skid Row, for real. It's like Skid Row. But nobody would ever see that because there's almost really no reason to go over there. It's not where all the attractions are. It's you'll never see it unless you live there and you have to go that way or something. But let's get back into it.
homes not long ago. Homelessness here isn't shrinking, it's multiplying, faster than the city can count. But what's fueling this explosion of homelessness goes far deeper than anyone wants to admit, where the capital hides its poorest.
I wasn't playing.
3 zones absorb nearly all of Sacramento's vehicle-dwelling population, and if you don't work in these areas, you'd never see them. Richards Boulevard is the industrial belt between downtown and Northgate, where semi-trucks unload and auto body shops stack rusted frames behind chain link. The only foot traffic is people clocking in for warehouse shifts. RVs concentrate here because it's the closest you can get to day labor pickup spots on North B Street without being in a residential zone. Proximity to work matters when you're spending your last $20 on gas. The North Sacramento riverfront runs along access roads near Discovery Park and the American River Parkway. People park here for one reason: water, not drinking water, water to wash. The river offers the only hygiene access when the nearest public restroom is 3 miles away and locked after 6 p.m. During summer, when temperatures break 105 degrees for weeks straight, the river becomes survival infrastructure. During winter, it's flooding risk. The parkway wasn't designed for habitation, which is exactly why enforcement stays light. It's managed by county parks, not city police, and the jurisdictional confusion means people stay longer until a coordinated sweep arrives. South Sacramento, particularly Meadowview Road and Florin Road near the airport approach, has the oldest housing stock, the highest eviction rates, and the most industrial parcels sitting vacant. RVs cluster in the margins, dead-end spurs off Florin, gravel turnouts behind closed storefronts, edges of big box parking lots until security makes the move. Enforcement here runs slower because call volume is high and code officers are stretched thin. What makes Sacramento different from San Francisco or Los Angeles isn't scale, it's environment. Summer heat in the Central Valley doesn't drop below 90 degrees at night. Wildfire smoke season turns the air thick enough to taste. Winter storms flood parkway access roads and turn industrial zones into mud. An RV with no hookups becomes a metal box that cooks you in July and freezes you in January.
It's dangerous being homeless too in Sacramento. I mean, anywhere, but I remember one year they said 122 people died on the street. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's crazy. 122 people died from just being homeless on the street. So, man, if you got some loved ones out there, man, I don't know, man, you might want to, I'm going to tell you something, man, like right now, during these times, being close to family is really important, you know, because that's kind of like what I'm doing right now. Like, you know, being around family is really, real important. And family, you know, I know like in this country, you know, we like to be solo, do things on our own. You know, we like to get out of the house and move far away. And, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's spread out. But right about the way times is now, everybody got to come together, man, because times is hard, bro. And this shit just getting worse. The rent is super high. The gas is super high. Food. I went to the grocery store. I bought 5 items. That shit was $85 for 5 items. And it wasn't nothing crazy, like some eggs and some other stuff. It's crazy, man. It's no joke.
Isn't lifestyle camping. This is survival infrastructure failing in real time. Walk Richards Boulevard at 7 a.m. and you'll see people in work boots climbing out, heading to construction sites and warehouse shifts. They're working poor who got priced out and fell through every safety net California claims to have. These aren't just stories. They're people fighting to survive a system that gave up on them. If you believe their voices deserve to be heard, subscribe now and help us keep shining a light where others look away. But here's what most people miss. 5 specific mechanisms created this crisis, each one triggering the next like dominoes, and they're counting down to total collapse. Domino 5, the rent chasm.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do whatever you want.
Start with the math. Median rent for a 1-bedroom apartment in Sacramento as of late 2024 sits at $1,940 per month. California minimum wage is $16 per hour. A full-time minimum wage worker grosses roughly $2,700 monthly before taxes. After taxes, call it $2,300. Rent takes 84% of take-home pay before food, transportation, medical, or utilities. Even at $18 or $20 an hour, you're cost-burdened, spending over half your income on rent, which HUD defines as the threshold for housing instability. 1 car repair, 1 medical bill, 1 cut in hours, and you're choosing between rent and everything else. Maria, 42, worked as a medical billing clerk in Arden.
Family or you know, or if you marry, you know what I'm saying, y'all really gotta, like, you gotta have more than one, like, you gotta have more than one income in the house. It just, I mean, unless you're just making a whole lot of money, you know what I'm saying, but even if you're making a whole lot of money, and then you probably gonna get something expensive, and you still gonna be struggling. So, because there's people making over $100,000 a year, that's, especially in the Bay Area, that's homeless, making $100,000 a year, and they living in a car or RV or some shit like that. So, yeah, it's no joke, man.
Paid for 6 years. Same apartment complex off Wending Way, stable routine. Her landlord sold the property to a new management company. They renovated the lobby and raised her rent from $1,300 to $1,900 in 1 lease renewal cycle. $600. She appealed. They offered her 60 days to vacate instead. Maria didn't have first, last, and deposit for...
Like when you're, I think it should be a law where they shouldn't be allowed to just raise the rent. Because I remember, because I used to live in Las Vegas. I remember when I first moved to Las Vegas, I was paying like $500 a month for rent. for a 1-bedroom. And by the time, before I moved out, I was paying $1,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, I just don't get it. I'm like, because if you guys were paying all your bills, I'm talking about the rental companies. If you're paying all your bills with just us paying $500 a month, well, why you gotta be so greedy and just go up $1,000 a month? You know, like, and what don't make no sense to me, if you got a renter that's paying his bills on time every day, why push that person out and keep raising rent, and then the next person you get with the high rent, they're not gonna be able to pay it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's greed, man. It's straight up greed.
New place. She had a 15-year-old Winnebago she bought from a coworker for $4,000. That RV, parked on Northgate Boulevard behind a shuttered flooring warehouse, is her address now. She still works, still pays taxes, just can't afford the rent. The market decided her labor doesn't cover. Eviction doesn't always look like a sheriff's notice. Sometimes it's just a lease renewal you can't sign. Next, how that RV on Northgate becomes a moving violation every 72 hours. Domino 4, the 72-hour shuffle. Sacramento Municipal Code. Section 12.52.030 says you can't park a vehicle in the same location for more than 72 consecutive hours. The rule exists citywide, though enforcement focuses on complaint-driven areas and industrial corridors. Code enforcement drives through, marks tires with orange chalk, photographs license plates, logs.
I know what I'm talking about.
If you live in a California zip code and have 0 DUIs in the last 5 years,
and to me, it don't make no sense.
Listen carefully.
GPS coordinates. 72 hours later, they return. If the chalk mark is still aligned, if the GPS...
They actually be parked in a good spot, like where nobody be at. Like, so why move them? Because when you move them, then they're going to end up moving like in front of somebody's storefront. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody's house or apartment or something. Why not just leave them in an area where nobody's at? You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense.
Matches, you get an orange tag on your windshield. Warning, move within 24 hours or face citation and tow. The rule was written to prevent long-term RV storage on public streets. What it does in practice is force vehicle dwellers into constant motion. Every 3 days, you move. Not far, usually just a block or two, enough to reset the clock. But that movement burns gas, which costs money people don't have. It destabilizes routines. If you're working, you're planning your week around move schedules. If you have kids in school, you're trying to stay within district boundaries while rotating parking spots. James, 56, drives a 1998 Southwind off Jibboom Street near the rail yard. He maintains it himself because he used to work as a diesel mechanic before his shop closed. He marks his move dates on his windshield in black Sharpie because his phone died months ago, and he can't afford to replace it. Miss one rotation by 4 hours and the tag goes up. James has been tagged twice. Each citation is $185. He hasn't paid them because he's saving for the transmission repair he knows is coming. When the citations turn into a warrant, the next traffic stop will impound the RV, which means he loses his home and everything in it because impound fees will exceed the vehicle's value. Mobility becomes punishment when there's nowhere legal to stay still. But even if you wanted to pay for legal parking, the next domino makes that impossible. Domino 3, the age lockout. Private RV parks in the Sacramento region operate under a near-universal policy. No rigs older than 10 years. Some parks set the cutoff at 15, a few at 7. The reasoning is insurance liability, aesthetic standards, and the assumption that older RVs bring maintenance problems. Parks have the right to set their own rules, but the consequence is a sorting mechanism. Newer equals tourist, older equals houseless. Even if your 20-year-old Winnebago runs perfectly, passes smog, holds current registration, no park will accept a reservation. Public campgrounds follow suit. Folsom Lake State Recreation Area, Rancho Seco, even county fairgrounds enforce age limits. And even if they didn't, nightly rates run $40 to $65. A working family can't sustain $2,000 monthly in campground fees. It's more than rent, with none of the tenant protections. Carlos, 34, bought his 2006 Winnebago outright for $7,200 3 years ago when he got hired at a distribution center in West Sacramento. He thought he'd park at an RV resort while he saved for an apartment. No park within 50 miles will take his rig. Too old. He's current on registration. His generator runs clean. His tags are paid. None of it matters. The age cutoff is a bright line. So he parks in the industrial stretch off Riverside Boulevard and showers at the gym where he pays $30 a month for a membership he only uses for the locker room. Age-based exclusion turns paid-off assets into liabilities with no legal parking options. And when you're forced into the industrial zones, you face the next problem. There's no infrastructure to support human survival. Domino 2, the infrastructure void. Here's what the industrial corridors don't have: water fill stations, waste dump access, electrical hookups, or public restrooms. The infrastructure that makes RV living functional in a campground doesn't exist in zones where Sacramento's vehicle dwellers concentrate. So people improvise. They fill water jugs at gas stations. They dump gray water into storm drains because there's no legal alternative within 10 miles. They run generators for power, which burns gas and creates noise complaints that trigger enforcement. The health consequences are direct and measurable. Summer heat without air conditioning means heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Sacramento summers regularly hit 108 degrees. Inside an RV with no ventilation, interior temperatures reach 130. Wildfire smoke season with no sealed ventilation means respiratory distress. Winter cold without heating means hypothermia risk. Untreated human waste in an enclosed vehicle creates infection risk, especially for children and seniors. Sacramento County Public Health recorded a 32% increase in emergency room visits from vehicle dwellers for heat-related illness in summer 2024 compared to the previous year. And then the city fines people for the problems it created: dumping gray water. Citation starting at $250. Generator noise after 10 p.m. Citation.
They're just doing their job, but I really don't blame the cop. Really, it's the people who's making the laws and all that shit. But it's like what are they doing? I mean, you finding these people hundreds and $200s of dollars, knowing damn well they can't pay it, and then it's like you can't put everybody in jail because the jails be overcrowded, and then when you do put them in jail or whatever, they're out like the next day. So I mean, it just don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. I mean, these people are already struggling, you know. I mean, they're homeless for a reason, and you keep throwing these fines, these little petty, knick-knack little fines here and there and there, and that shit keep building up. And then when you don't pay it, it's like, when you do come across the money, they gonna take your money because you still owe. It's like, man, it's a dirty game, man. It's a dirty game out here.
$150. Accumulation of waste. Citation, $300. The tickets stack up, unpaid, turning into warrants.
It never stops.
The financial burden grows. The ability to escape shrinks. When you criminalize survival behaviors caused by infrastructure absence, you don't solve homelessness. You just make it more expensive. When those citations...
Then you turn people into criminals. I'm just being real. Like, I mean, what they gonna do? You know, a lot of times if you too deep into the homelessness, you probably can have to take a shower so you can't get a job.
Falls. Domino 1, the sweep spiral.
You gotta eat.
When complaints reach critical mass, Sacramento conducts sweeps. Code enforcement posts 72-hour notices on vehicles in a targeted zone. The notice says, move by this date or your vehicle will be impounded. Most people move. They scatter to adjacent streets, nearby corridors, anywhere the sweep isn't actively happening. Some can't move because their RV won't start. Some don't see the notice because they were at work when it was posted. Some have no gas money to relocate. 72 hours later, tow trucks arrive. To retrieve an impounded RV, you pay tow fees starting at $350, plus storage at $75 per day, plus any outstanding citations. For a vehicle sitting in impound for 2 weeks, you're looking at $3,000 minimum. For a vehicle worth $3,000, it's total loss. The RV stays impounded, eventually gets auctioned or scrapped, and the person who lived in it is now on the street with whatever they could carry. Post-sweep, the city declares the corridor clear, but the people didn't get housed. They moved. Richards Boulevard sweeps push people to Jiboom Street. North Sacramento Riverfront sweeps push people to Meadowview Industrial Zone. Meadowview sweeps push people back to Richards or under the overpasses along Business 80, where enforcement is lighter because
the area I was talking about, like B Street, C Street over there. It's like between Richards Boulevard and like the I Street Jail, you know, I don't know, like downtown, like right in between. It's a little section. It's a section over there, but they allow you to stay there forever. You know what I'm saying? As long as you want. But anywhere else, they just constantly just moving you and moving you.
Visibility is lower. The cycle repeats every 8 to 12 weeks. A Richards Boulevard sweep in September 2024 displaced 41 vehicles. 6 got impounded, 35 relocated. Within 3 weeks, 32 vehicles were back on Richards or within a half-mile radius. 0 people got housed. Cost to the city for enforcement, towing, and processing. Estimated $48,000. Result, same people, different block. Fewer RVs visible doesn't mean fewer people experiencing homelessness. It means they're dispersed, destabilized, and harder to connect with services. That's the 5-domino cascade. Rent gap pushes people into vehicles. 72-hour rule forces constant motion. Age restrictions lock out legal parking. Infrastructure absence creates health crises and citations. Sweeps create chaos and permanent loss. Now let's see what that looks like at street level. The solution: Sacramento won't scale. The safe parking site near the Sleep Train Arena operates at full capacity with retention rates that should make every city council member pay attention. 87% of participants who complete case management transition to stable housing within 12 months. The program provides parking spaces, portable toilets and hand wash stations, trash service, weekly case management, referrals to ID replacement and medical care, connections to rapid rehousing vouchers and employment services. Cost per participant runs roughly $4,200 annually. One emergency room visit for heat stroke costs the county more than 6 months of safe parking support. One impound and tow operation costs more than 2 months of case management. The math is clear. Neighborhood opposition blocks expansion. Zoning restrictions trigger different land use rules. City council members fear political blowback, and there's a persistent belief that making life harder will pressure people into housing that doesn't exist at prices they can't afford. Here's what changes everything. 4 solutions Sacramento can deploy immediately. Scrap the 10-year RV park rule and replace it with inspection-based access. California already requires biennial smog checks. Expand that framework. If your RV passes safety and emissions inspection, parks accept reservations regardless of model year. Opens private park capacity immediately without new construction. Rezone the 3 industrial corridors where RVs already concentrate for legal long-term vehicle dwelling with infrastructure. Run water lines, install dump stations, provide electrical hookups. Contract waste management. Cost estimate for a 50-space lot with full hookups runs about $800,000 to $1.2 million in setup. Compare that to cumulative street costs, impounds, ER visits, and law enforcement hours cycling the same population through crisis every quarter. Launch vehicle triage centers like San Diego's model. Vehicle dweller brings their RV to the center. Mechanics assess what's broken. If it's fixable and keeps the person mobile for work, they repair it through grant funding or sliding scale. Keep people's homes functional. Prevent total loss breakdowns that push people from vehicles to tents. Prevention costs less than crisis response. Implement master lease lots. City identifies underused industrial parcels. City or county leases the land. Nonprofit manages operations, intake, case management, rule enforcement, service coordination. Participants pay $30 to $50 monthly for a parking space with hookups. Programs in Eugene achieved 92% retention at 18 months. Denver expanded from 1 site to 11 in 3 years. Sacramento's pilot shows 87% success. City Council can rezone through majority vote. No state approval required. County can partner with RV repair nonprofits using encampment resolution grant funding already allocated. The money exists. The models exist. What's missing is political will. 3 steps Sacramento can deploy this quarter. Step 1. City Council votes to rezone Richards Boulevard Industrial Corridor, Gibbon Street area, and Meadowview Florin Industrial Zone for long-term vehicle dwelling with service infrastructure. Staff drafts ordinance. Council schedules vote. Approval takes majority. Timeline: 60 days from draft to implementation if prioritized. Contact your district council member. Demand they co-sponsor the rezoning ordinance. Public comment periods matter. 3 minutes of constituent testimony outweighs 100 advocacy emails. Step 2. County contracts with nonprofit facilities. Manager to run a 50-space master lease lot using state HEAP funds. The RFP process takes 90 days expedited. Sacramento steps forward can coordinate. Contact Sacramento County Board of Supervisors. Demand they expedite the RFP for master lease lot management. Specify you want intake within 72 hours, ID replacement within 30 days, and case management ratios under 25 participants per manager. Step 3. Partner with mobile mechanic programs or vocational training providers to launch vehicle triage covering basic repairs that keep people mobile. Startup cost is minimal because service providers already exist. You're funding repair parts and coordinator hours. Contact Mayor's office and request immediate partnership with existing RV repair nonprofits using state encampment resolution grant dollars. Demand transparency on how much state funding remains unspent. None of this requires new legislation. None requires federal approval. It's local authority, existing funding, proven models. The cost of inaction is measurable. Repeat ER visits, ongoing sweep expenses, destabilized families, kids missing school, seniors cycling through medical crisis. Your talking kit. Sacramento has over 1,100 people living in vehicles, up 38% in 2 years, cycling through 3 corridors because the city's safe parking program has 12 spots with over 100 families waiting. The 10-year park rule locks out working families with paid-off older rigs, while the 72-hour requirement forces constant moves that burn gas, destabilize work, and accelerate breakdowns. Safe parking with case management shows 87% housing transition rates. Inspection-based park access, vehicle triage, and master lease lots work in other California cities. Sacramento piloted it, proved it, refuses to scale it. Subscribe for the follow-up mapping every legal RV parking option in Northern California with costs, restrictions, and waitlist realities. We're releasing the 30-day advocacy roadmap, showing exactly how to push your city council.
He doing his thing, man. He making some good suggestions, and he's very well informed on this subject matter right here. But yeah, man, it's tough, man. I gotta say, it's family, man. Family need to come closer, and just stick together, and tough this shit out because it's just getting worse. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.